What is up, guys? Cody Owen with Lightspeed Social Agency. If you clicked on this video, it is because you are a lawn care or landscaping business owner and you're wondering, should I be advertising on Google anymore? Should I be using Google's tools? Is Google getting worse? So the quick answer is that yes to all questions. Yes, you should still be playing Google's games. The benefits are still there, but you're not wrong. Google is getting worse. So we want to talk a little bit about the way that search engines work. This is some education that's going to help you know what's going on with Google and search in general. That's going to help you understand why you should be advertising there. So we're going to put on our little scholarly caps for a minute, but I'm going to make things as easy to understand as I possibly can here. But we are going to dive into a little bit of research. And I'm going to refer you to a tech podcast that I think is helpful for small business owners, because it's going to be focused on what is going on in the tech world and the way that it impacts our lives. New show that I'm really excited about. Where I want to start is this longitudinal study out of Germany called "Is Google Getting Worse? A Longitudinal Investigation of SEO Spam in Search Engines." Now, if you have been hanging out on the channel for a while, you know that I am not a fan of just slapping a lawn care blog on your lawn care website for the purpose of having robots read it and have you rank higher. That is not, no one organically in your area wants to read a blog about their local lawn care company. They don't care about lawn care. If they did care about lawn care enough to read a blog, they'd probably be doing their own lawn, right? So we're literally creating content that is not for our ideal customer. And we might be producing content that answers a question or something like that is to the side of what we're trying to do. But also, if somebody's looking to understand deep things about their lawn, like how to fertilize it and all of that, they're, again, probably not an ideal customer for a lawn care company. We're just finding a way to get more keywords on our website, to get the robots to like us more, to get us to rank higher. And the problem is that when everyone is doing this, it becomes this arms race of just increasingly robotic content created by SEO agencies, or, maybe your marketing agency, to churn out crap to get you to rank higher on Google. And there's better ways to rank higher on Google. So you have probably noticed over the last couple of years, this is what this study is about. This is what inspires the study, is people sort of anecdotally saying man, it feels like Google's getting worse. You've probably noticed that when you go to search something, if it's something specific about a problem you're having or something like that, you have maybe noticed that Google itself will suggest that you add the word Reddit to the end, the website Reddit, because Reddit search kind of sucks. Google search is better. And by adding the website name, you might find a Reddit post where actual humans are discussing the problem that you're having and giving actual advice or an actual solution, versus a crappy little software company that wants to sell you a tool to fix whatever problem you're having. And they're just going to repeatedly describe the problem and then tell you to turn your computer on and off, very obviously procedurally generated articles that are just here's the list of error codes. Let's give one troubleshooting step and then try to sell them something. Just get them to look at ads on our website for as long as possible. So this study notices that the line between benign content and spam in the form of content and leak farms becomes increasingly blurry. It's hard to tell people who are trying to help you, but maybe not very good at it, from people who are deliberately just trying to keep you on page to look at ads as long as possible. A situation that will surely worsen in the wake of generative AI. So this is a really big deal. You might be thinking oh man, churning out blogs for my lawn care company will be super easy now that I can have ChatGPT write them. But everyone else is having that same idea. And already there are many websites that are obviously fully written. They're writing hundreds of blogs a day. And they're all clearly generated by AI. They're hallucinating nonsense. And that's also all going to make search results lower quality. We conclude that dynamic adversarial spam in the form of low quality, mass produced commercial content deserves more attention. So Google is breaking down. It's becoming a victim of its own success here, where they're trying to get more money out of not the users, but the advertisers on the platform. And so by making Google search worse and continually filling it with ads, we do run into a problem where eventually if users are having a bad time on the website, the people who are actually coming to Google trying to get information out of it, they have a problem they need to solve. All they're getting is ads and then shit written by robots that doesn't make sense. They're going to stop using the platform, right? And that's a problem for you and I as advertisers on Google, right? We want Google to be useful. We want to balance the usefulness of Google with our needs as advertisers, because that's how Google makes their money. We want to get in front of an audience that we are relevant to and that might need our services because they're searching something related to those services. But if Google continues this process of making the website worse to use and a worse experience, and people are constantly having to add Reddit to the end of their search to find something useful, we need to be monitoring this and making sure that like, hey, is Google still where we should be advertising? So Google is getting worse for sure, but we are not at the point where I think you need to jump ship and stop advertising on Google. This kind of brings me to my next point. This is a concept to be aware of because as a small business owner, whether you like it or not, you have to be engaged with what's going on the internet, what the digital ecosystem is doing more broadly than just the things that specifically affect your business. So there is a science fiction author and like tech critic named Cory Doctorow. You've maybe read some of his books. Really interesting guy, always has interesting things to say. And he has coined this term that really describes the experience that all of us are having in our online spaces, where we're having more and more ads that are making the experience not as good. Like we don't want more ad space, even as advertisers. We have to think about this from the perspective of what keeps users on platform. And it's the content they want to see that enables us to put in an ad every now and then and get in front of them. But these companies have gotten so greedy and the demand for increased profits continues to mount on them. Every quarter, they need to show that they made more money than last quarter. We're hitting what Cory Doctorow describes as the enshittification of the internet. So the idea that, Google used to be, it was a free repository of basically like, a way to find all human knowledge that was available on the internet. And it did a good job for a long time of balancing the needs of advertisers that support the platform with the needs of the users, which might not be to click on an ad. If you're searching for some information about, something that's specific to your life, you may not be in the market for a service related to that. You might be looking for a way to repair your lawnmower. But the advertisers sponsoring the search results help people get the information they needed, which kept them using Google. It gave Google that monopolistic market share that they have now. The problem is that they're doing what monopolies always do, which is they want more. And they've already won the war against the other search engines. Like, how often do you use Bing? You might know one really privacy conscious person who uses DuckDuckGo. But in general, like we're all hanging out on a Google platform right now. We're on YouTube. Unless you're listening to this on a podcast, in which case I'm sorry for excluding you from the example. Anyway, so we have this happening all around us on the internet. It's really important to monitor what website is providing the best experience for its users. And is there an avenue to advertise there, to be present there? This might look like Facebook may not be the best place for you to grow an organic audience, right? You may not want a bunch of followers on your Facebook page or a bunch of followers on your Instagram, but it might mean that you on your personal account are super active in a local Facebook group, right? So you have people who in your neighborhood have taken the time to put together a group and you're allowed to answer questions there. Nextdoor is very similar to this. So you might look for some of those organic opportunities that are a little less enshittified, if you will, to get in front of your people. Now, all of that said, I want to talk a little bit about, get back to Google here, and talk about the helpful content update that they pushed in 2022. This is part of how Google is trying to at least claim that they're trying to, de-shitify their application. So they want to look at your content. They don't want it to be procedurally generated. And I guarantee you, they are using the same tools that college professors are using to root out AI generated papers. They're looking at that when they're indexing your site. And if your content is obviously written by ChatGPT, you're going to get docked for it. So I really, really strongly encourage you, if you care about on-page SEO, do not fill your website with copy written by an AI. They're going to know, The robots at Google are really good at sussing out things created by robots. So the helpful content update wants content that is, and I'll link to the Search Engine Land article because it's really interesting, but it's created for a specific audience. It features expertise. It's trustworthy and credible, and it meets the wants or needs of the searcher. These are all important things to keep in mind when you're putting content on your website. This is what is informing how you rank and how quickly you're indexed. An index is just the term for when Google scrapes the internet for your stuff. So we want to make sure that we're producing helpful content. And one of the ways that you can do that, this is action that you can take right now. And it is not like super deep or time consuming. If you want help setting it up, it can help you set it up. Nearby Now is the tool that I recommend for this quality content. This is not going to create blog posts for you. It's not even going to create written words for you. What it's going to let you do is use the schema markup language that was launched in conjunction with this quality content update to give you better ways to display information on your website to the search engines. So what Nearby Now lets you do is log those individual locations where you're working for these site check-ins, site visits, so that Google, and especially Google Maps, can see where you work. This is really, really key to fixing one of the main problems with Google Maps. I've talked about this on the channel several times, that Google Maps was designed with the idea that every business had customers come to them. And we are the exact opposite in the home service industry. So if you have a route that's 30 minutes away, Google's never going to rank you higher on Google Maps than the guy who is chucking a truck and lives in that neighborhood and has his home as his Google Maps location. So we need to log those site check-ins and give us little outposts along that route so that Google can see that that's where one of the places where we operate and give us a fair shake at ranking there. So really, really important that you look into implementing Nearby Now on your website. I can get you a little bit of a discount if you're interested in that. You can reach out below. Also, quick reminder, it is March. Lightspeed Plus resources are live for March. We have added Google Ads keywords and headlines to that. So those are written for you. You can use exactly what we've got there. It just requires you to fill in some of your service area names and you are good to go with that. We've got mowing creative, weed control and fertilization creative, spring cleanups ready to go. Emails for spring cleanups should be coming soon. So sign up for Lightspeed Plus. You can get a time on my calendar down below. We can just chat and make sure that it's a good fit for you. Sign up for that. It's a way to help out the channel and to get you some really good marketing content right into your marketing materials, right into your lap, ready to rock and roll. So use that if it is going to be a good thing for you. Like the video if you haven't already, if you learned something, and make sure to let me know what you think about the enshittification of the internet. Is that a term that you have heard before? I'd love to know down in the comments.
When I was editing this, I realized that I never recommended that podcast to you guys. So Ed Zitron has been he runs a PR firm. He is a tech journalist, and he is working on a new podcast called Better Offline. And I've listened to the first few episodes, and I think that it's going to be one of those things that you may not always get something of value to your business out of, but it's part of being a well-rounded entrepreneur to keep yourself updated on what's going on in the tech space. I think this is going to be really, really helpful to you. You are going to get some things out of it that are super valuable. So give Better Offline a listen, and I will see you next week.